Hello, I'm Steve. A little about myself. I'm a retired law enforcement officer with 20 years of service. I began my career in the jail, worked the road, and became an investigator. During my career, my training consisted of everything from SWAT to becoming a state certified crime scene technician. I've investigated crimes from thefts to homicides. After retiring and becoming aware of true crime and web sleuths, I started my channel for web sleuths to better understand the perspectives of law enforcement. Not only do we cover true crime, I go out into the field and assist families who have lost loved ones to homicide and their cases are considered cold. Join me as we look and bring attention to these critical cases.
Hello, everyone. Glad you're able to join us tonight. If you're new to the channel, thank you for being here. Welcome. And as always, we're going to have a short presentation. And during that presentation, if you have any questions that comes up, please absolutely put them in chat. And there's Steve here, get them organized, and we'll answer as many questions as we can. The presentation tonight is going to be relatively short because we're talking about a 3 or 4 minute announcement by a judge regarding the court proceedings with Richard Allen and what does that mean and where are we headed. But with that being said, let's go ahead and put that up, and I got it. That if you have any information regarding this case, absolutely make sure that law enforcement has the information. We currently do not have a defensive team, so everything goes towards the prosecutor. We are back on day one of right after that, everything that has happened in the last year since the attorneys were appointed, that we have just had a reset of time. So it'd be as if Richard Allen filed his indigent request due to his financial status that I need attorneys. And that's where we're at now. And I know there was a lot of people anticipating where was the court headed, what was going to be happening due to some of the leaks, and how was the judge going to rein in these attorneys, what was going to be said, and was there going to be sanctions against them. And we see that it was another one of those things that we didn't expect. Although last night during a members only show that normally on Wednesdays and Sundays, I have a members only show. And sometimes YouTube, for whatever reason, they'll broadcast it. We had this same issue. There were several creators back a few months ago, whereas when we schedule for our members only, that it's released to everyone. And so last night's show was that way, which apologize to the members only for that, but we did have a larger audience and had some people come in. We even had some people join. But we appreciate anyone and everyone. But I also, like I said, a special call out to all my members for your support and for being there with us last night and having a great show and asking some great questions. And one of those questions that was asked last night, if you would, let me go ahead and I'm going to stop my cam, but I'm going to keep the mic going. And so go ahead.
Are you going to take that down, or does that matter?
No, that doesn't matter.
Okay.
True Crime Web, any predictions for tomorrow's hearing? The one thing I can tell you is that something absolutely unforeseen will happen. I don't know. I've never seen anything like what's going on with this. And even with the am I concerned right now with some of the images and some of the banner out there about what's going on? No, I'm not too bad. But it is that we only have certain images out there. And of course, people will jump to conclusions that they think that you have a puzzle that's 250,000 pieces of a puzzle, and you have 4, 5, 10 images, and that you know what the puzzle whole picture is. Absolutely is not the case. And so, I'm sure that the judge will get everything well in hand after tomorrow's hearing, even if it takes new people involved in this case, which is possible. Well, that's it.
Let me remove it.
Yep.
Clarify what that question said about tomorrow, that it was from last night.
Okay.
Stephanie.
Sure. Last night during our members only, someone asked what was my prediction for today's hearing, and it was that absolutely something no one would anticipate would happen, and even if it came down to the judge having to put new people in, and so not that I had any idea that this was going. It was the furthest thing from my mind, and the only reason I mentioned it last night was for the fact it's the most outrageous thing I could think of that could ever happen to this case. And I never in 1,000 years thought it would happen, but just by chance mentioned it. And then where are we? We find that we're at the door is open, and we're in that position. So thank Molly for asking that question. And so we find that I had a psychic event about 25 hours ago. But that'll probably be the last of them, because Mrs. Steve can tell you that of all the time, right, it's probably 1 in 1,000.
Yeah. Give or take.
Give or take. So y'all, all our members and all our viewers, be prepared for about 1,000 mistakes of future predictions. Just got one right. But anyway, I wanted everybody to realize that what happened today in court, I'm extremely impressed by the judge. And I am, there was so much issues and speculation when the first judge withdrew from the court, and we had this other judge assigned to the court, and Judge Gull and coming in and having a great understanding and great, she was well respected and is well respected within the state, and I see why. For the fact that we have one of the largest, biggest hearings of what this judge is going to lay down the groundwork, and which direction is she going to take the trial, and how is she going to face these sanctions or bring these attorneys and rein them in until what as we get closer to trial. And what happens? The attorneys say, we're going to take our toys and go home. We're done. We're through. And she maintained great decor and control of her court and her manner, because I can imagine some of the judges I've seen in the past that would have almost put them under house arrest. But because it's something that I've never seen. There's so many things we've never seen. Now, is it unusual for appointed counsel to be sanctioned or removed? It has happened. But more often than not, we have these attorneys that will approach the judge and say, we have a client we can't work with. He just won't work with us, and we wish to withdraw. And a judge will tell them, no, that's not the case. You're not going to withdraw. We have 180 degrees on this one. This judge here, regardless of what she was going to do today, because she knew exactly what she was going to do today, and she was surprised by this measure that the attorneys preemptive strike that they throwed at her. But she was well versed, and she was prepared, and I think that she knows exactly how she's going to move forward. She's already laid out that plan. And let me bring in this, and that she gets up there and she opens up the hearing part of it, that we have an unexpected turn of events. To say that, that's probably one of the biggest understatements that we've seen so far that this judge has made. That it is, she didn't expect this. And when a judge doesn't expect something, it means that she had a plan of what she was going to do today. And it wasn't going to be, in my opinion, she wasn't going to toss the attorneys. I thought that she might, but she wasn't. But that she stated that Baldwin gave an oral motion to withdraw. She accepted. And like I said, sometimes attorneys ask to withdraw, and the judge says, nope, not going to happen. And but we didn't have that, especially the closer you get to a trial, because we're really just 3 months out from a trial date. And so, and then the other attorney is going to be writing a written motion, and she hasn't ruled on that yet, but it appears that she's prepping and for the fact of some of the statements that we'll cover in a few minutes of which way she's going to go. And because she's already told them you're going to cooperate with the successive attorneys. So, but in those few minutes, she confirmed that Alan's financial status is the same. It's static. He's indigent, and so they will be appointing new attorneys. He's entitled to it, and that's what there will be occurring. And that she will reach out just like before. She'll reach out to the public defenders, and she'll find those attorneys who are qualified. And like I said, we just had a reset in time. We went back to just what Richard Allen was a few months ago when he, prior to ever knowing who Baldwin or Rosie were and what type of attorneys or knowing anything about them, he's going to get 2 new ones. There will be a new trial date, the suppression hearings that have been filed, whatever the judge decides to do with that. And when the new attorneys come in, will they take the same course of action? Will they say, okay, what do we have? And of course, the prosecution has all the discovery that they will need to release, but she's requesting that the Baldwin and Rosie return the discovery, and that's what they want. They don't want the work product, because there's going to be a lot of work product out there that these new attorneys may not be aware of. There will be some relationships and questions asked and possibilities that the new attorneys may or may not want. They'll be professional. Anyone that can handle this type of case isn't really behind the 8 ball. They know how to approach this. They know how to move forward. They know how to defend their client. And regarding what has happened with that 136 page, well, this is one way that you just squash the 136 page document that the previous attorneys did, for the fact it's a work product. And will the new attorneys come back and answer it? Will they go down that same path? Because there's been a lot of doors absolutely open, a lot of accusations against everyone from the correctional side of and holding of Allen through law enforcement. Has been accusations against them, and also against a lot of just citizens out there that have Facebook, social media presence. Some have made claims of being involved. Some have denied, but we have some strong accusations made by this former defense team. And how much trouble are they, and are they in any trouble outside of this court case now that they're not involved with it? Will any of those individuals seek counsel and possibly come after them for, whatever type of distress or harm could have been caused, or injury to their family, their relationship, to their job? Because that's one of the things I really hate about social media sometimes, is that it's one thing when people have probable cause affidavits and they're in the court system, or they've been facing trial. And of course, we have that information that's been sworn before the court, and law enforcement has released it. It's another thing through these documents that are accusatory towards these individuals with no evidence other than we have an attorney that says, well, so-and-so posted a picture that's very similar to this, and they should have investigated. So I don't have a lot of fond feelings for that type of representation, and just throwing people under the bus that may or may not have absolutely anything to do with it. And so we have to be very, very careful. But the judge said that she requested, and that for the attorneys to cooperate. with the successive attorneys, and whatever part of their work product they have to go over that may or may not be forced to reveal. But at the end of the day, Alan has no representation, and so therefore, all court proceedings will be stopped until we get the new um, representation and appointment of counsel. And this is a case that absolutely will drive the social media and the content creators down a large path. There's going to be a lot of them going into conspiracy theories about, well, this is all part of whatever grand, great mystery and um, of how the corruption is just overwhelming for that part of the country. I'm not into that. The court systems will work. This judge here, like I said, I was impressed with how she approached this, matter of fact, and in her manner and matter of fact of how she made statements, and wasn't screaming, hollering, or giving the evil eye to those that were present. And so we should see the trial move ahead. Of course, we will probably be set back for at least another 12 months. And we have to feel for the families that are absolutely on this roller coaster ride, that everything that this defense team brought up and took them and dragged them down these trails of information, and, because it has an effect upon everyone. And what will be the final answer, and what will the next defensive team, and because we're going to have absolutely new information, whichever route and whichever avenue that the next team goes down. And it may be totally different, or it may be exactly the same. We have no idea. And but like I said, it's going to be a great interest, and I wish that the attorneys hadn't done this. I wish they had accepted whatever this judge had laid out for them. And if the judge had laid out that I was going to remove them, then of course the unexpected turn of events is just that they withdrew prior to her taking them off. I don't think that would be the case, but it's possible. Who knows? But that's where we're headed, and that's where we're going. All right. And so there's not a lot to the presentation tonight, because we really want to get to y'all's questions. And then I've got another announcement about some future stuff that we're about to do. Okay.
Okay. All right. Hold on. All right. And let's see here. Now, I saw Winston's mama in chat.
Okay.
So Winston needs extra sugars tonight.
Purdue RN has a dog that Mrs. Steve is absolutely
in love with.
In love with, and
he is the cutest baby.
Yeah. So RN, make sure your doors are locked and your alarms are on.
And a coffee pot full.
And coffee pot full, because when Mrs. Steve ever gets a chance, dog napping.
All righty.
Curtis West, $20. Many people think that this hurts RA's ability to get a fair trial. From my experience, it won't. But what do you think, Steve? I don't either. I think, of course, it's a setback. Rather than, we're basically looking at that. No, it wasn't. It took law enforcement 6 years to solve, and now we've added +1. So we're at 7-year mark. That it's almost basically like he's just got arrested and he's getting new representation. And we have a little bit more details now. Where were we at this point when Richard Allen, first day of his arrest? We were limited on the knowledge that we had and where it was going and what information. We are far more informed now of some of the details. We understand why Richard Allen was looked at by law enforcement. And so we have, through these court hearings that have come up, and we even got confessions that these new attorneys are going to have to, because those confessions are still out there, regardless of what these attorneys, the former attorneys whatever type of filings they have, those confessions are still there. It's not something that they brought into it. It was something that was absolutely done by Richard Allen alone. And so the defense will have to, the new defense attorneys will have to face those issues. But thank you, Curtis West. We appreciate that support.
Okay. Hold on. Chat is quite busy. See? All right. Hold on. All right. And Josh, is there any significance to one of the lawyers verbally motioning to withdraw and the other by writing?
It was odd. You would think that was this something that something said or possibly that occurred in some type of closed chamber meeting prior to stepping out there that brought this on all of a sudden, because it was an unexpected turn of event. And that you have one attorney that, hey, I can make an oral motion, and the judge accepted it. And the other attorney says, rather than stand up and say, I'd like to make the same motion, as, hey, I'm going to write mine out. Don't know what that means or how significant it is. I'm sure there's going to be some people out there that can explain that. I by no means have the ability to understand what lawyers think, and so I won't put myself in that position. But it is, I wouldn't think it's anything significant. The outcome of it will be the same. The judge has already accepted the oral, and I don't see any reason why the judge wouldn't accept the written one. So the outcome, regardless if by voice or by paper, it's going to be the same, I expect.
And from Teresa, why were Doug Carter and Tony Liggett there today? Why did Kathy Allen and R.A.'s mom leave crying? Any ideas? Thanks.
Well, law enforcement often are there during those hearings for a lot of reasons. It can be from just supporting the family to making sure that they have a clear understanding of what is said in court firsthand, rather than reading some type of document or finding by the court. And also, in case there is a question, or they're going to be part of the witnesses that may be taking the stand for some special part of the hearing. We don't know where the defense and the prosecution and what the judge were going to be asking certain individuals. So they could have been on, these hearings, and whatever the structure of the court for Indiana is, were there going to be certain witnesses called? Was it going to be Doug Carter, Tony Liggett? And is there a special relationship that these attorneys, because Kathy Allen and Richard Allen's mother, they are very protective of Richard Allen. They have a relationship long term. They're there. They're supporting him. And they saw something that is a unexpected turn of event, that the two people in the world that were standing with them trying to protect their husband and their son says, we're leaving, we're done. And so I could see where they're emotional. And I understand that, anytime you lose support, it can have an impact on you. And that's just my personal opinion of it. But that's how I saw that they've lost some of their strongest support of who they can lean on and who they can confide in, that have now left them.
And from Miranda, do you have any sources who witnessed the hearing and saw how the family members from both sides reacted?
I haven't reached out to anyone. We're so busy right now trying working. I just got back from a multi-day trip across the Midwest and from Pennsylvania. I haven't reached out to anyone up there yet, but no, I just watched what was on the news, and I saw where I think it was Rosie, one of the attorneys approached the wife and the mother, and they left the room, and then we saw within a few minutes when the judge made the statement. So, but no, I haven't spoke to anyone that was within the courtroom.
And Molly, any thoughts on the measures Baldwin will do, locking his door, locking his files in locked file cabinets from now on? Don't lawyers have to keep your private docs protected?
You know, like I said, the officers of the court, and they have discovery. It's important documents. It's things that the whole trial can hinge on. And as we've seen, that there was a breach of that security by, I expect, someone that was trusted to the attorneys. And they broke that trust and created this situation that we're in. And we know that we have a limited amount of damage right now. And does the court have that in hand? I expect so. And as long as the people, we work together, for the fact that I strongly believe that even in social media and in the YouTube creators out there, we want justice. That's all we want. We want justice for Libby and Abby, and I have faith in that. And hopefully they'll look at that and see and ask themselves that if I do certain things, what harm can I bring to the case? Because we don't want to harm the case. And hopefully that that through these attorneys' inability to protect and whatever broken trust, and because people will turn, people will, for whatever reason, sometimes make some of the dumbest decisions and create this havoc, and they have off the defensive team. And what will be the final? I have no idea, but the discovery of everything that they had will have to be returned to the state, and the judge has requested that so that they will not have the ability to release anything further. And I'm sure there will be some strong wordings and court orders that you are not to discuss this case in any shape, form, or fashion, or release any more information to anyone regarding this case. And then, of course, you violate court orders. There's some repercussions and sanctions that the anyone and everyone is susceptible to.
All right. And Josh the Posh, judges don't always grant withdrawal. What reasons would the judge be inclined to do so at this stage of the trial?
I absolutely agree with you, Josh. I think that she wasn't. I really do. I really don't think that she was going to replace him. I think she was going to do something, but I don't know what it was, and probably wasn't going to do anything until after the trial was over. And I don't know what tools and what she could do, but I'm sure that within the courts, there's certain things that these attorneys faced. But I really think that we had, and she had these hearings set up, and we have a trial that's only 2.5 months away. And she knows the implications that if I replace these attorneys, I set everything back at least maybe even a year, because she made that statement that, and she understands that the new appointment of the attorneys, these other attorneys are not going to be ready in 2.5 months. So I don't think she wanted to endanger that, because we have an individual who is considered innocent until proven guilty by a jury. He's sitting in jail. It's been there a year. And now he's going to be sitting there for another year or two, even if we get to it, it may be 2025 now before he faces. So now we have a defendant that will be housed and secured for, how many months. And that's something that we, no one wants to face serving that time, being away from their family and things, when you're considered innocent until proven guilty. Um, but she, whatever whatever reason, she granted that withdrawal, and she knows what's going to happen.
All right. And Eileen, so confusing. What was today content supposed to be? Prosecution had witnesses present for the scheduled proceeding.
Yeah, it was my understanding, whatever the special hearing was that she had for the um, uh, whatever the court findings and to set up. I don't know what the um, uh, was on the court docket, and I will. That is a great question, and we'll see what type of hearing was set up and what this was going to be. Of I have an idea, but I can't remember the proper terms that they were using for it. That she was addressing that you go and be prepared for this hearing, and um, uh, make sure your calendars are clear, because I expect that she was going to lay down the law that this is how we're going to proceed from this day forward. And but I don't know. Somebody will find out what was on the docket, how this hearing, what it was titled, and that'll make more sense once we find that out. Great question.
Sorry. M. Cunningham, what happens if nobody takes the case?
Nobody has any. If you've ever seen these attorneys in action, some of these attorneys, of course, when you have public defenders, they're there. And of course, you have certain public defenders that have certain training and experience in courtroom. And the attorneys that are the public defenders really don't have a say in it. That when that judge says, you're it. Here in Georgia, we had that a rotating docket of attorneys that all the attorneys that had passed the bar was on this list, and they all had to represent indigents as it came up. And so it was at random that they just rotated them. That if you didn't have a trial coming up, you had to take them on. We didn't have a public defender's office at that time, but now when the public defender's office comes in, then of course it comes from that. And you have a whole state of these public defenders, and they'll find someone that's qualified, and or at least two of them, for the fact that they have to have two on anything that could possibly be death penalty. And so we'll have two death penalty qualified attorneys.
Well, and you just answered Junior Johnson's question. Look at that. Don't they have to be death penalty qualified?
Yes.
There you go. All right. So now let me catch up. And I didn't even have to pull it up on the screen.
I'm psychic again. I'm just
there you go, Junior. Look at there.
I'm telling you.
Great minds think alike, right? All right. And from Dandy, can they be disbarred?
Oh, I don't expect that to be the case. Now, what these other people that's been accused by them, I don't know what's going to happen with that. I have no idea, because I've never seen anything like that 136-page paper come out of where they're just throwing people out there, throwing them under the bus.
He still talks about that paper.
I've never seen anything like it. And with all that information and names and pointing fingers, never seen that. But I don't believe that's going to be the case. But I don't know anything about how those attorneys and what happens to them up there. Could they be facing lawsuits? I have no idea. I know that if you accuse me of a certain crime of such as that, I may not be able to sue you, but I most certainly will go ask a lawyer if I can.
And Kamala, Patrick W. is going to sue defense team because of what was said in defense papers. Is that a reason they might have quit?
Even I wouldn't think so. for the fact that the courts wouldn't allow that to interfere with this case. Now, it may those filings may come on later after this trial because they don't want any of the conflicts. Um, but is that the reason they may have quit? Yeah, that may be. I don't know. And I think one of the attorneys has or did hire an attorney. And is this what that attorney told them to do? That get away from this case? Don't know, but we'll probably find out because Patrick, as you put in there, would when they depose these attorneys, and which will come during a lawsuit, that certain information, and we'll see where it goes. If there's attorneys already taking up that case, then of course what they've done within the 136 pages has exposed them, and actually probably has made part of this case. They took the light from the justice for Libby and Abby and put it on the attorneys, and that's not right.
And Robin, what is the chances that the judge issue a gag order on everyone that was sent the crime scene photos? It couldn't hurt. Help to stop the craziness.
I, that'd be fine with me, but I don't know if they even have that power to do that. Um, the but we'll have to see what happens with it. But there's certain things, and like I said, I don't know what generation of images that we have. I don't even know if they're accurate because, like I've said before, there's a lot of things out there that people see and are created that may or may not be. And we only have 2 or 3 images that has been sent out, and are they accurate or not? And I like I said, I always, um, if the judge said that, I'd honor it. And so if it comes forward that they wish all social media to do it, I can only do what I can do.
Right. And Calamity Colleen, can the attorneys be criminally charged if they are found responsible for the leaks?
I don't know what personal involvement and how what type of investigations. There could be some type of investigation ongoing right now that we're unaware of, and I expect that the court has ordered some type of investigation into all the um, measures that were taken to protect the discovery that the defense had, and how was someone able to circumvent whatever protective measures and get those images and share them, or send them out accidentally, or ever how that first step was taken. Um, Criminally, I don't know. We just have to see. Like I said, I have no idea how the court will handle that leaking of the evidence, and we know that some of the people that are at least one individual responsible or reported responsible isn't uh, able to be prosecuted. So we just have to see where it goes from there. But I just don't know.
Okay.
But I don't see these attorneys wanting what is happening. The defense attorneys, former defense attorneys, that I don't see that this is what they were, that this was their goal for this mess to be where we're at. I don't see that being part of their plan.
Okay. And from Joan, I remember when they were appointed, both of Alan's attorneys were DP certified. When do they announce if they will seek it? That would leave a narrower pool of appointed defense attorneys?
I don't know when that hearing will be or what the filing of that is. That's a good question. I don't know when that will occur. And obviously, the judge is aware that that potential is out there for the fact that, as you say, that both of these were DP certified. And will the next two be? Absolutely. I don't see any changing of this judge mindset. So, but no, I think that the next set will have the same qualifications. They'll just be Team B, and you know, uh, Team A is who wants to be Team B.
And Lee, do the new attorneys have to come from that county?
I don't know.
I think it'd be state.
Yeah, it's just from that state because you have the state bar system. Okay.
I just went completely dead.
All right. Am I still there? Hello. Mrs. Steve just dropped off there.
I mean, I am completely dead in the water.
Okay.
Are they starred up there?
Okay. Yeah, mine is starred.
Can you?
If someone would say I'm still here, give me a 1.
Right now.
Give me a 1. Okay, you can hear me. Thank you. So I'll take over while Mrs. Steve's computer, her Google machine, has shut down on her.
Literally. Am I plugged in?
Mm-hmm.
It's coming back on.
All right.
All right, keep going.
All right. But anyway, while she gets her back up, I will go in here. We have Miranda Lee, who has been a member for 7 months. Thank you. Appreciate your support, Miranda. And let me go up here to the starred
ones.
All right. We got here. Let's see here. Steve, do the new, okay, come from that county? No, I think you have a state bar that they have to pass. So I think anywhere from within the state, I expect, but they would want someone that has easy access to Allen. And so that meets those qualifications. And I'm sure they'll go through the public defender's office and find those. Jan C. became a YouTube member. Thank you. Appreciate it. Look forward to seeing you in our member programs on Wednesdays and on Sundays. Sundays is for all members. Wednesdays is for the detectives and the commanders. But appreciate you being here. True Crime Web, hit the blue light for Jan C. Thank you. All right. But anyway, Molly, True Crime Web has Richard Allen declined his right to a speedy trial. If he did under previous attorneys, can he withdraw the speedy trial release? I think that they're going to take that because he was represented by qualified attorneys, and we went through that hearing. And so I don't think that all of that gets to come forward again. Although, will the judge make allowances for it in case they wish to from this point on? Because the defense, I don't know which way to go, but prosecution's been working on it now. They're ready, they're getting ready to go for trial in January. So they've pretty well already finished. So anything that the new attorneys would want to do, and they may say, the new attorneys may come up and say, okay, we're ready. Let's go. This is as quick as we can get it. And that could be a possibility that, less than 90 days, we have a trial. Let's see here. True Crime Web from Carol. Will the gag order still apply to Baldwin and Rosie now? I'm sure that the judge will, if make that where they can't. The judge wants all the discovery back, and these attorneys are still within the state, and they work under court orders. So I expect that it will be that they still will have some type of gag order that they'll have to answer to. Rob Lee, I find it interesting that Baldwin's attorney filed a motion to not dismiss counsel. And then Baldwin verbally quit anyway. Wonder why. good question. Did he see something from the judge's mannerism that he didn't want to be exposed to? Don't know, but there's something there. All right. Jesse Dean, True Crime. Do you think speculation someone was intentionally sending a group message or was an example of random weird creepiness seen in crime scenes where staging posing is a factor? Yeah, you're talking about the images, and from what I've seen and things, um, I do believe that there was some staging and posing. Um, for what reason? Can that staging, posing just be totally within the mind of the offender, which it is? That everything that these offenders do at these crime scenes is for feeds their fantasy and feeds whatever they want the searchers or the first responders or as they say that they stage or they pose victims that they photograph it. It's for them. It's not for the rest. It's for them and feeds their fantasy. And I mean, there's some sick individuals out there. Brenda Bergmont gifted one true web membership. Thank you. Appreciate it. Blue light there, man. All right. Was Baldwin and Rossi appointed or paid for? They were appointed, from my understanding. So the next ones will also be because the judge said that these attorneys, Baldwin and Rossi, said that they confirmed that Allen is financials are still static, and so he will be allowed appointed counsel once again. I say a lot of John Douglas's writing describes crime scene with the most random things left. Words written, etc. Yet it's usually linked to a single offender. Do you guys think this was different? What like I said, we only have of the crime scene that's been sent. And like I said, I don't know if it's the same images sent to all the other people out there that seen them. So we don't know what images because I haven't contacted anyone and say, hey, this is what I saw. What did you see? I'm not going that route. And if they ask me, not going that route. So that, what I have and what I've looked at, not only on this case, but in all the other cases I've ever worked in my career, that's part of my training. It's what we did, and we analyzed things. And when I saw them, I wasn't expecting them, but I got them. But I didn't see anything within what images I had that said more than one offender. But we're only talking about 2 or 3 images. There could be hundreds of images out there that show something that might support what the defense attorneys stated in that 136 page. We just don't know. And it's not fair for people to just take 2 images and then say they have a true, fully understanding of the crime scene. You don't. We don't. We don't know anything other than what we knew before. We have 2 victims in a crime scene. You can't solve and explain the whole world from 2 pictures. And so we shouldn't even have tried to. Let's see here. Mrs. Steve, can you ask Steve if RA works a plea deal? Is it possible it could be without the possibility of appeal or parole? Yes, anything's possible. It's up to what the prosecution, of course, any type of plea deal, they're going to run by the family. But at the end of the day, it's up to that prosecutor that he has to make that decision. And that if there is some type of plea deal offered and accepted, and by both sides, the prosecution and the defense, the judge still has to agree with it. So there's a lot of moving parts to that we just, that may or may not happen. All right. True Crime Web. Did you or anyone see Doug Carter give Mike Patty? I did not. I didn't see that. I've been working all day trying to get caught back up, so I'm way behind. All right. Gil Hurd, didn't that first judge quit say threats to his family? I think there had been some mentioning of something along those lines, and because he's a local and he didn't want to expose his family to that, and he may have had other issues of why he, you know, left the case, but that could be part of it. I can't remember. It's been so long. All right, Gen C. Will RA be on extra surveillance to ensure that he is safe mental health purposes as he received this news today? Meaning more of the wristwatch for mental? Absolutely. I think they would, for the fact that, was this something he was expecting? I don't think so. Judge wasn't expecting it. Family wasn't expecting it. And so I think even Richard Allen was probably shocked. I have nothing to support that, but I would expect that it would be something that possibly surprised him. Miranda Lee, I think we did that one.
You did that one.
Okay. All right. So let me get away from the start and go to the 841. Go to live and see how far behind we are, guys. I apologize to whatever our computer system is, our Google machines have done to us. But we'll try to get called up. And I will run it like I normally do the old late night.
How far your charger?
You think that's it?
This right here. Don't you have a?
I have a battery.
I have nothing. I think it's my. Oh no, that don't work. That's a USB.
Okay.
I have the skinny one.
I have no idea. But anyway, let me get caught back up. Yeah, 63 clocks. Mrs. Steve's Google machine has bit the dust. Bit the dust. It timed itself out. Oh, man. Let me get down through here, see if there's any questions. If we miss any questions or any support or donations,
just blame it on me tonight.
And with it, it's Odin is infiltrating the channel.
Something is.
All right. The 63 clocks agrees. Let's see. Do you, Pam says, do you think the new defense attorneys need a lot of time to go back and start all over? Absolutely. Whatever has been done will be totally put back on the back burners, and these new attorneys need a chance to review all of the discovery and see what it means to them. Because it's like everything. You can look at what evidence you have and get two totally different understandings. You look at a picture, you see, everybody has a different opinion of what they see, and it's the same with court cases. Let's see here. I can't believe your computer locked up.
I mean, it didn't lock up, it just turned off.
And Roxy, you may be absolutely correct. If the attorneys have taken those clients and they're starting to file paperwork, you may be absolutely correct that those attorneys may be sued. I don't know which way it will go, but I'm sure that the courts will understand and they'll let whatever happens happen. Do we do Kamala Norris?
No.
Okay. Steve, do you think the leaked images will be withheld from the trial? No. Their court, if they are part of this case, and we don't know if they've been edited, how factual they are, and how many times they've been passed. But the original images, they're authenticated. They'll have certain markers that's in that discovery. They're protected, and they have a chain of evidence with them. It has nothing to do with social media. Just because it's out here on social media doesn't mean that forever damages the originals. Law enforcement has the originals, and they can track that. Now, if they didn't have the originals and this was all they had, then we might have some issues. Kamal Renars, blue light. If Richard Allen told his defense he was guilty but still wanted to plead not guilty, would the defense have to quit? No. Defenses, I'm sure that there's certain. My understanding is that they couldn't go out and create something totally false, but they would. My understanding is that defense attorneys will offer the best defense that they can. But they can only do it with what facts that are truthful and known to them. That's my understanding. Let's see. Trying to get caught up, guys.
They've been busy tonight.
They have. I'm not as good at this as Mrs. Steve is, but my Google machine works. Mrs. Steve.
Always mine.
Did
I think it's the plugger.
Do you think did Ruckus send you an email?
No. Are you saying that he?
It's a Rucker scale.
It's a Rucker scale.
On a Rucker scale, it's a 5 right now.
Uh-oh.
All right. Just reading through the questions as we go. I appreciate everybody being understanding of our situation here at the end of the show. Kemosabe says the new attorneys will have all this discovery available. Yes, whatever the prosecution has, they'll just release it again. It's not that only will the new attorneys get what was released to the other attorneys. They'll have full disclosure, and if they don't, then of course that has to be answered to. I don't know how large the public defenders and what staff and what requests they'll make of the court for finances and everything else to make sure that they have the necessary staff to be able to provide that defense. No, there was no jury there today. We're a long way from a jury pool being impaneled. Jan C. say, will the former defense attorneys still have to follow the gag order? I would expect that the former defense team will have a special order if nothing else. Yeah. Let's see here, Josh Podge. Josh Podge says $10 for a new Google machine for me. Oh, me. And then the blue light for Josh. Thank you. And then for Debbie, even if the defense attorneys think or know he's guilty, they will still zealously advocate for their client and make sure the state meets its burden and doesn't trample on his constitutional right. Absolutely well said, and 100%. That is a great statement, Debbie, and appreciate your support. Did we do Peggy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thank you for your new member, although I think she's been just maybe renewed.
Oh.
But regardless, we appreciate your
Wait,
support.
Doesn't matter. There
That's
you
right.
go.
Roxy,
Hmm?
do I have my blue light on?
Do you? No? Is it? No.
Lee says, do you have an opinion on why defense quit? No, I have no idea other than are they preparing for what can of worm they've opened with that 136 pages? Was it, and the judge um, accepted their request. So, but I have no idea because, like I said, the judge said it's an unexpected turn of events. So she didn't foresee it. And so I have no idea. Although I'm sure that it'll be put out there eventually. There'll be a statement made. This is a great question. Awesome chat by Steve and Mrs. Steve. I'm going to say goodnight, but I want to know, is Mrs. Steve looking forward to be drugging the leaves? I'm glad you asked this question for the fact.
Thanks, Gail.
Yes, for the fact I went clothes shopping for Mrs. Steve today. And I got my favorite color that I like for her. Yeah. Remove this right quick. I got her white Tyvek suit. We have some control testing I'm about to do. There you go, babe.
Thank you so much. Nothing too good, right?
Yeah, tomorrow night's date night. And so
See?
I got her some special clothing. She looks great in white. I'll pay for that later, guys. I will.
You're so sweet.
Oh, man. And then we got Lone Pony, been a member for 6 months. Shout out to the awesome mods for this channel. Thank you, Blue Light. Thank you, Lone Pony, for your support. All right. Let's see. I'm just trying to get caught up.
That's it, ain't it?
Yeah, we got called up here. There's a couple questions here. And Kemosabe, the point I wanted to make was the new attorneys will not have to wait months for the discovery. Could be ready for trial sooner than later, in my opinion. Absolutely correct. And if the new attorneys come in and they want that speedy trial, I think he's waived it. But if they say they can look at all the discovery and they've been keeping track of some of this information, that they may be able to go to trial in 2.5 months. I don't expect so, but there is that possibility. We'll just have to see. And Keith Orion, you have a good point. The prosecution hasn't officially proved anything yet, unless it's your opinion or it's just your opinion that Mr. Allen is guilty. That is true. The prosecution has not proved one fact to the people that count. And the people that count is the judge and the jury. And those facts have to be proven to them, and they'll make their decisions based upon what facts that they believe. And if he's found innocent, we have to respect that. If he's found guilty, we have to respect that of the findings of the court. And so right now, nothing has been proved. And I agree with Keith. We have to understand that and give it the weight that it deserves. Yeah, the light works. It's just that we turn it on and off every now and then.
What, the blue light?
Mm-hmm.
See? It works great.
See, they think I'm romantic. I bought you some white.
Who is that?
Die.
Oh, okay. So do I get to go to the ice cream shop after this?
Yes. See, date night. Dress up in her.
I'm not wearing the Tyvek to get ice cream though.
Oh, SB74. That's great. Wearing, no, wait, she's wearing Tyvek. Let's see. Yes, we're doing some tests, and that's why I bought Mrs. Steve the Tyvek. We're going to see about some of the movement of drag marks and things like that that we're going to be doing on the crime scene. There's some questions that about could one person do what was done that within this 136-page document, and so I'm going to go test some of that out and see if one person can do that. Oh, come on, Norris. That's funny. Okay. They want you to do a true crime web fanny pack.
A true crime web fanny pack?
Mm-hmm.
Where do I do that at?
In our merch.
Oh, I can do that. Sure. Oh, in the store.
Yeah.
Oh, I got you.
All right.
Better write that down though.
Molly says ice cream.
I agree.
All right. Let me get caught back up here in chat. All right. Looks like everything is good to go. And we appreciate everybody being here tonight. I apologize that Mrs. Steve's Google machine shut down, but that happens, and we'll have to check on that and see what went wrong there. And but y'all stay safe out there. Appreciate y'all being here. Appreciate the chat. And if you have any questions or anything, send me an email. I'll be glad to get back to you as much as information as I can. And we'll see y'all Saturday night. And,
thank you, mods. Love you.
Bye-bye.